Got it. Yeah. Ooh, we
All right, now we're
started.
live. Yes.
Yeah. But anyway. All right. So everyone that is watching, thanks for joining. I have Sarge the gamer with me. I've played Civilization 5 with him multiple times. He's got his own YouTube channel, I think, right? I know.
Yeah, yeah. I've got my own YouTube,
Yeah.
and
Figured. But anyhow, so this is the first time doing this.
yes.
So if there's any blips or mistakes, don't blame me. Anyway, so what this is about for the most part, just kind of talking about games in general, what you guys play, just conversational stuff. Once this thing gets bigger as well and we get more people watching, there'll be people that I invite in and you can ask questions or just add to the chat sort of thing. But since this is the first one, it's probably going to be kind of a smaller video. If nothing else, it might just be me and Sarge doing this the entire time. So before it gets big, it might just be between a couple of us. But anyway, with that being said, so what have you been playing lately?
I've been playing a lot of strategy games actually. I've been running a group called it's called EU4 Political Multiplayer. Basically, what it includes is it is a group of people. It's basically a group of people who I organize these games, and we do. It's like the game's about you. It's a grand strategy game, and you all play as a single country, and you play it until a certain time, from a start date till a time date. So the earliest in the base game is 1444 till 8, and the end date is 1820. So it's what I've been doing lately, and I also just picked up recently Men of War 2, Assault Squad 2, sorry. And I've just been playing that recently and just getting into that, and it's pretty good. I've been really enjoying that. But yeah, I've been focusing on a couple of games, which is usually what I do. So what about you? What have you been getting into lately, and that sort of thing? As I've
Uh, I don't know if you really follow my YouTube channel too much, but I mean, I actually just recently finished up Trine. You probably haven't even heard of it anyway. It's more or less of like an indie game because
mm,
I tried to mix in indie games with what I do. And Trine was kind of, again, it's your basic indie game. I like the game. It was a side scroller 2D kind of thing, or I don't know if you've heard of like 2.5D, but that's kind of what that categorized in. Have you seen the new Batman game that they released on Steam? I don't think it's good. It's kind of
which one is
like
that?
it's like Origins. The name I can't remember the name of it, but I don't know if you played seen Batman Arkham Origins. I'm sure you've seen that because they
I think
came out
I've
of
seen it.
nowhere.
I've played Batman Arkham Asylum, but with those Batman games, I found the combat is very simple. It's basically just press
Yeah,
X, press X, press X,
right.
and
And then it's like a cinematic kind of thing. I know
yeah.
it's similar to I don't know if you played like God of War before. That new game for the Xbox One. Well, it's not new anymore really, but Rise. It's similar to
Oh
that
yeah.
too.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it looks the combat looks really good and it flows and it looks awesome but it's just the fact that the combat seems doesn't seem very immersive.
yeah, no, I know. It's pretty much button mashing, especially for like Arkham Origins. I played that on my channel too. I like the game, but I liked it more or less for like the cinematic part of it,
Mm.
plus the story of it to some degree, more or less than the actual gameplay of it. Because there's some parts in the game where uh, I'm probably just bad at it. Because I played the last half of it, I played with a controller, which was a lot better. But
Yeah.
but before that, I mean, all it is just clicking the button and hoping that you do the right button combinations. Because some of them have like shields.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you have to like flip over them and then hit them from the back, and you have to press all sorts of buttons on a keyboard and a mouse. It's terrible with a
Oh
joystick. Yeah, it was
yeah.
like,
There's some games that you just can't play with a keyboard and mouse, like Mortal Kombat, for example. Like you try playing on a keyboard and a mouse, you probably won't do very well. Or even I find Dark Souls as well. Like I tried playing that, and with a keyboard and mouse, it's just terrible. So you have to
no.
really play those kind of games with a controller.
Yeah, exactly. Because the Mortal Kombat, like a keyboard and a mouse is just weird. at least with that game, I feel as if there's more leeway with it, just
Yeah.
'cause at least it's a 2D kind of thing where you just kind of go back and forth rather than a 3D atmosphere.
Mm.
But anyway, like I was mentioning, the new Batman game that did come out is unfortunately it's Arkham Origins combat style, which isn't the greatest, with 2.5D or just like 2D, like Mortal Kombat. But it's hard to explain it, I guess, without showing like a video of it. But the way that the guys come, it's like Mortal Kombat, where you're I'll use my finger. So you're Batman here, and then
Okay,
there
right.
could be a guard. There could be a guard right here, and then
So
a guard right there, and they
so
can come at you both
basically,
ways.
what you're saying is that Batman Origins is basically just a bunch of fingers,
Yeah,
and
it's a bunch of fingers, you know.
is it now
That's
is it just turned into a low budget thumb war?
exactly. But anyway, yeah, the what do you call it? But anyway, Trine is the same. Trine's good, better than the new Batman game that came out, but it's still that 2.5D side scroller thing. So anyway, that's one of the things I've been playing, and then the other one that I've been playing is Hitman Absolution and Thief. Thief, I
Hmm.
don't mind. Thief is all right. I feel as if it kind of deserves better than what it got as far as reviews go, from what I've
Hmm.
seen anyway. A
Yeah.
lot of people bash it. I mean, I bash it based on it's not anything like what it should have been, like what people go in there expecting it to be, like the old Thief games. It's not like that, but as its own kind of entity thing reboot, it's not that bad. But
Yeah. My girlfriend was talking about it actually, and she said she really enjoyed it. Although she didn't really like the ending that much, as well. I don't know. I haven't really watched it, or I don't know. I mean, she did tell me about it, but I haven't. I haven't really watched any Let's Plays of it or anything like that. So neither have I played it. But I heard that it's okay, but I can't really comment properly or review it properly considering I haven't really seen it or really played it at all. So. Um, it's unfortunate. I think, although I hear about a lot of more story-involved games as well, I think I've been getting out of them a lot more as well, personally. I don't know why. If it's just because I get, I have no idea. I haven't really been paying a lot of interest in it personally. I mean, it's just a kind of, I don't know. Um,
well, yeah, I mean I know like 'cause like you mainly play like Civilization kind of games, a
yeah,
lot of the strategy games, even like the game you were talking about before too, where a lot of the games more or less it's based upon your story, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Where you create your own story. Every game that you play, for like a civilization based kind of thing, plus other strategy games, a lot of them they it's a randomly generated world or map or whatever you want to call it, and then
yeah,
you make your own story essentially, rather than you go into a game like Thief or Hitman or a AAA title, most of them at least, where they give you the story already, uh, which is fun, but you have to play by their rules, kind of a things.
yeah,
Like strategy games, you make your own stuff. If something bad happens, you make a story out of that, where it's like, oh, they attacked me at this point, so I hate them now, so I want to take them out. And as you play through the game, that's the story itself.
yeah. There is a really good. There's only one game I'm into right now that's very story orientated right now, which is The Wolf Among Us, and I've been really enjoying that. I've been playing the up to the third episode came out recently as well, and played that, and it's really getting into it now, and I'm really enjoying to play that. And I like even though the choice, no matter what choices you get to, you probably almost get to, you will always get to probably the same end. But I do like the kind of the choice you get, and the fact that when you play games like The Wolf Among Us, it's not like watching a movie or a series. It's obviously it's you feel more immersed into the character, like as if you almost like the character, and I think that's what really it's what draws me in a lot, and the fact that you can choose what you want to say, what you want to do, and it affects what type of character you might be, and I pretty much enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I haven't. I only. my fiance Kelly, she got The Wolf Among Us. She has all the Walking Dead stuff as well. I haven't played through all of it. I haven't watched anything of it either. But from The Walking Dead, I really like that. And Telltale is the same people that made The Wolf Among Us, I think, right?
Yeah,
Pretty sure
yeah,
they did. Yeah, they
yeah.
did.
It's
Okay.
the exact same. Yeah,
Yep. And then, so I'm sure because I think she has the first. I can't remember now. I think she got The Wolf Among Us as well. But that's another one that I wanted to get into because those story-based games are really awesome. I think. I mean, those a lot of people have. I know there's a lot of gripe between them because some people say, "Oh, well, they're not really games because it's just a point and click kind of thing."
yeah. I've heard
I
that before.
I highly disagree with that. I don't know why people say that because you're still doing something. You're the one that makes the choices. It's not like it's a movie. It's not like you're sitting there starting up an application or a game or whatever you want to call it, and then you sit there and you don't do anything because you you do something. That's kind of what a game kind of is based upon. It's like your actions change something or kind
Yeah,
of. You know what I
you
mean?
influence what choices can influence the game in different ways. And I found out on the Wolf Among Us going. I found doing different choices actually keeps certain characters in the game as well. Like, I mean, I don't really want to. Like, there's like one like if you go one place, you can save somebody, or you do one choice. If you do this other choice, you probably won't even, So it's like it won't open that door having another character there. But you know, like I don't want to say what in case it's some sort of like in case I'm spoiling it for someone, or I don't know. But
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
pretty interesting. I also played the Walking Dead season one, and I pretty enjoyed that as well. And I plan to get the Walking Dead season two. Probably when another episode comes out, I might then get it so I can just steam through like three episodes in one go or something, and then probably do that. So
and then yeah. Yeah, because I know uh, I don't know if how does that. I haven't purchased a Telltale series kind of game. So if because the one thing I have always been curious for like The Wolf Among Us. Let's say for instance, I think they're on what chapter 3 or something like
yeah,
that.
they're on episode
So
three for that. Yeah.
so if you were to buy The Wolf Among Us when it first came out, which was sometime the end of last year.
Mm.
And there was only chapter one. They when they update it and release another chapter, they give you that chapter, right? You don't have to make
Yeah.
another. Okay, they do. So you get the whole
So
thing.
yeah, yeah. So if you were to go buy it off Steam now, you would get the all the episodes that are out currently, and you would also be guaranteed to get the rest of the episodes without any extra cost.
Awesome.
Yeah. I think that well, yeah. So basically, that's how it is with the Telltale games. It's like a series, except that you have to wait longer than just waiting for a TV episode of a series. It's like you have to wait a bit longer, but I think it's quite an interesting idea that you don't just that you have to wait for the next episode to come out and so on and so on, which I find kind of interesting compared to other games where you get it all at once. Which I don't know. I mean, it does annoy me that you have to wait for the episodes to come out, but at the same time, I kind of like the idea as well. But I'm not really sure what I think about it really. So
Yeah, no, I kind of prefer it because I mean, for a consumer's standpoint, like our standpoint more or less, it's really beneficial to us because I mean, you get something every. I don't know how often. I think it's what like I'd say every month to 3 months they
yeah,
release
it's
something. I don't know what the. It's
something
something
around
that.
like 1 or 2 months between that. Yeah, I usually find that's the time frame. So
Yeah, because I mean, you get stuff that frequently, and let's say you made the initial purchase, then you get it's like getting a new well to some degree a new game every month to 3 months. From what I understand, from The Walking Dead, there wasn't much depth, I guess you can say. Some people could argue about that, but I felt as if the stuff that they did give you wasn't all that much, but replayability is there because you can make different choices, and I think they
yeah,
rank you up between like this many people made this decision for you, sort of a thing, or not for you, but with you, kind of a thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really nice touch, actually. I think that it shows what kind of how people view a certain situation and how you may take a decision and be surprised at what other people, how, like the kind of how many people more took the other decision or how balanced it might have been, whatever the statistic might be, which is quite interesting to look at.
exactly. Yep, that's how I feel about it too. And with those kinds of games, still, like I was mentioning, I just feel as if I think they're designed pretty well. Again, I hear a lot of gripe about them, but one thing that does suck for some people is, let's say, a year down the line when The Wolf Among Us is finally, everything's done. I don't know how many chapters are going to be in there. Probably
It'd be five, yeah,
five. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
So when that time does come, uh, I'm sure like on Steam it'll probably go on sale. It'll be like a 50 to 75% off, and you can pick up everything in the entirety of this game for like $5, $10 at some point, I'm sure. And then
yeah,
there'll probably be people that bought the game initially. I don't know the full cost of it. I don't think they don't ever go for $60 for those games. I don't think it's usually like
yeah. It's like usually £20. I pick them up.
okay,
They sell for £20, so like 25
yeah,
to $30, I'm sure. It's in
yeah,
America.
yeah,
No.
yep. I think it's $30 here in the U.S. Um, so it's not that right there makes it kind of not terrible because when you pay $60 and then you see a game go down to like $5 to $10 on a Steam sale, the people that bought it initially at $60, it's kind of shitty. Games like
Yeah.
Skyrim is a different story because, like with Skyrim, I bought it at full price plus all the DLC at full price.
Hmm.
I don't feel I don't feel cheated out of it because I would have wanted to play that right away. Not I would not have wanted to wait a year or a year and a
Yeah.
half for that. You know what I mean? So
Like you have to make your money feel worth it, and if you buy a game and it's not worth it and it goes on really cheap, and then you just kind of feel disappointed that you paid so much for a game that you know don't really like.
yeah, yeah. That's the worst. I hate that. And so with The Wolf Among Us, that's because I know that's one of the things Kelly had mentioned before too, um, where she wished for The Walking Dead, she wished she waited a little bit, just so that way she could get a little bit cheaper, because she knows she could get it for like 25%, 50% off, and be a couple chapters in. So this way, when she starts up the game, it's not like she plays it for 3 hours and then she has to wait another month or so to wait for the next part to come out, which kind of stinks. That's the one downfall of the game. I mean, it's its benefit and its downfall. Because if you're really busy, if you're a really busy person and you have something like that, I think it's a good thing because you always have something to go do, and when
Yeah.
it does come out, it's fine. But for I'd say like a younger generation that buys it with the intent of playing it a lot, you're not gonna it's not going to be there because you're going to have to wait a while for the next part to come out. And when the next part does come out, it's only a little bit at a time, you know?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like someone who has a lot of time on their hands as well, who likes the those type of games, you have to keep waiting for it. So it's like I mean, I don't personally. If I was, I would like it to be just all five chapters or episodes. They want to call them that once, but some people might prefer it like by episode. But I don't really know how many people might prefer it the way it is now compared to if it was just all at once. That's all there in kind of episode format. So I'm not really exactly sure on that. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's like you said, it all comes down to personal preference. I mean, some people, I feel as if, and my opinion here is not always correct, because I feel as if uh, older older teenagers, I guess, or older past the 18 and up mark probably would enjoy those games a little bit more, depending what's on the content. And generally, most of those games are whatever M or mature, or whatever. Obviously, no one ever really follows those standards anyway. But um, the younger generation probably wouldn't like it, and those are generally the ones I think that are the ones that kind of point at them and say, "Hey, those aren't real games," because they're most younger generation people will look at it as it's all I'm doing is pointing and clicking at something and people talk. I want to play a game where I can shoot people or I can roam around, create things, do more of an interactive thing where they have control
Yeah.
of the universe, if that makes sense. Because like in a story-driven game like that, you don't exactly you can't shape the world. You just shape
You
the
just
story, if that makes sense.
yeah. You're just thrown into someone's shoes, and that's the kind of story you live in. You can't just, there's no way of changing exactly everything and how everything works. It's just how it is, and you have to kind of work around that
Yep.
with the flow of the story. So, which, I quite like. So,
But anyway, so what? I figure, what do you do on your YouTube channel? I think it's kind of similar to what I do, right? Kind of like,
um, what I do right now is, well, I haven't really uploaded in a while, but I'm planning to upload some Gary's mod, which I've been getting into a little bit with now and then with some friends. And but right now, nothing much at the moment because I've been kind of wanting to find something good to upload that I think I would enjoy. And right now, I'm planning to soon to be uploading more Gary's mods, and probably going to be uploading after I've done. Because right now I'm doing like I said, the E4 sessions. Once I've done the first one, I'm probably going to upload this. Like I'm going to start recording the second one and upload it in like a weekly format with a number of episodes as well. So really, it's just whatever I feel like playing. There's no kind of theme to what kind of games what might go up on there or anything. It's just basically
yeah, whatever you
what I
want.
would personally enjoy, and hope that other people are interested in it. And if not, then whatever, So
Yeah, whatever.
yeah.
Screw them. But yeah, I mean, as you know, and everyone else that really follows my channel, I like to try to, and I even put it in like my about section where I try to keep like an upcoming AAA kind of game up to date, and then an older-ish game that I kind of the games that I've enjoyed but I never got to play. Like Hitman Absolution would be one of those where I've played all the other Hitmans before that, so that was like a top one on my list. And then I try to put in indie games in there too because I play those. The thing with indie games that I find to be kind of hard is there's so many of them, so it's kind of hard to pick one necessarily. But some of them aren't very interesting. I guess you could like I'm trying to think of one that would be a good example. Like some of them would be better if there was somebody. Let's say it was a two-player kind of game. Like Trine itself was fun, but I want to do Trine 2 because that one you have multiplayer.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what the game was about, it's there's three classes. There's like a thief, a wizard, and a warrior kind of guy. And then you basically solve puzzles and you kill shit at the same time. Um, Anyway, so what would be fun about that is if you could have a friend that would play, or two, because you could, I could be the wizard, you could be the thief, and someone else could be the warrior, and that's what Trine 2 does do. Um, so games like that are easy to kind of put on YouTube because there's other people, and it makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
The story itself is kind of dry and or non-existent with a lot of indie games, and Trine isn't one of Trine's actually probably one of the better ones actually, just because there's an attempt at least where some
Because they're
indie
trying to.
yeah there's something there's something there kind of,
Yeah.
whereas some indie games it really comes down to I can't think of a good example right now, but there's a lot that are just platforms where it says like you are stuck in a cave. You must escape, and there's no dialogue. There's just little text that appears on your screen, which is cool and everything if you're doing it on your own. But if you're trying to make something like try and make a video about it, it really comes down to purely on your commentary to hopefully entertain someone where there's no help from the game. And sometimes it's where why are you even playing it? Because all it really comes down to is just they're following. They just want to listen to you talk and play some weird game. And then that's the difficulty with indie games, I kind of think,
Mm.
with trying to upload them. Another, I think, a good example would be a Risk of Rain. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I don't think I've heard of that. No.
I know
Um.
it's on Steam. That you're basically like you're like a commando guy, and you're put on an alien Earth, and uh, it's the more you play the game, the harder it gets. So it's I don't know if you've played some games where you're thrown into a game and the game's really easy the first 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes the difficulty's ramped up, and then you get more guys, you get harder guys, and you have to use your abilities more and more.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of.
That's
Uh,
and then it's a permanent death kind of thing too. So if you die, you have to start from scratch again.
oh yeah,
Yeah, so it's one of those where I love those games. They're really fun, but they're really hard to do because there's no dialogue in it. There's just that white screen text, and that's it. And uh, it kind of sucks. And also, even harder is I could die in the first 5 minutes on easy mode, and then it's like, well, there goes that. I don't even know why I would want to post this, especially if you had a video where you got to like almost beating it or something, or you unlocked a new guy, and so.
yeah.
But
I think I think with games with no dialogue, I find very hard to, especially if I'm in just in like a certain mood where I just want to I just want to kind of play something and I don't have to concentrate too hard. Just kind of just sitting back and playing a game. Like having to read a lot is very sometimes like having to concentrate and reading and having to apply
right.
yourself. I don't know. I sound pretty lazy saying, oh, I can't be bothered to read.
Oh no, well,
No,
in a game like that, it's so difficult because they'll throw things out there in dialogue while you're in very hard mode or whatever, and you don't know what the hell just popped up on there because you're trying to defeat everything, and you need something to kind of say. I don't know, like, hey, the starship's over there, get there. And if it just
yeah,
pops up in white dialogue, it's like at the end of the game and you died, you'll be like, oh, well, no wonder why I died because I didn't see that. And that's the
yeah.
defeat of those kinds of games. But
I mean, even if the voice acting wasn't that good, but the game was good, then you probably wouldn't care if it was just some like the spaceship is over there. We should investigate. Like even if it was just something stupid, even if we're just
right,
getting a microphone once and just saying that, just like, yeah, okay, that's good enough. We'll just put that in. Just even something like that would be enough if you for an indie
would work.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's a small gripe because I mean, outside of that, I mean, the Risk of Rain, playing that on your own, I think is fun. But again, you have to be in the right mindset, the right person. If you're I would think a game like that, you personally probably wouldn't like it too much because
Mhm.
you're more into the strategy kind of games where you have complete control of everything. And Risk of Rain is kind of the complete opposite spectrum as that because you don't have complete control of everything. You just have like uh, the first guy you play is kind of like a kind of shitty gun. You have to
Yeah.
do barrel rolls and crazy stuff, but those kinds of games, you are going to die soon. You're going to die. It's inevitable, and it's more or less how long can you last, and you don't really have control over it. You can't just sit there and dictate what happens. It's so it
Yeah. You're just part of the big everything and the big picture, and you're just one little guy, and that's it. That's all you are, part of this the story, right? I'm guessing is just your one little part in the big machine, basically, and
yep.
you're not really in control.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the story of the game, from what I've got from it, I've only played it a handful of times anyway, is you're a little guy. I don't think you actually have a name, but the names come from the person you play as. Like the first guy I think is the commando, and then there's a bunch of other guys you can play. There's like 12 of them, which is
Mm,
cool. But the story pretty much is you're like in a spaceship, and then you're dropped on this alien world, and you have to kill the crazy alien creatures that pop out of nowhere, pretty much. And then once you get to your objective, there'll be kind of like a boss battle that happens. Like one of them's like this giant magma worm that can like go through the. I mean, the Risk of Rain's like a 2D platform as well, as most indie games are kind of. It's like this crazy flaming worm that just kind of like floats and goes through everything. It's pretty. I always struggle with that one. And then there's other ones that are like giant robots. And then after you kill them, you get like power ups and stuff as well. And then you continue on to the next mission or whatever. And eventually, if you kill enough bosses, and you unlock unlockables, and there's quite a few of them. They want to say there was like 100 of them, maybe.
Hmm.
There might have been more, and that includes weapons, more people you can play as. There's a bunch of stuff, but
I'm out of conversation in
oh
terms.
no!
I'm yeah, like I get so far through a conversation and I'm like, shit, I don't know what to talk about.
Right. Well,
But
I
hmm?
figure I'll if we run out of conversation here anyway for the next 20 minutes or so, it's all good. Because I mean, we had the one viewer there, but alas, we have 0 viewers again. But I figured that it would kind of be this way for the first video anyway, that there wouldn't be too much. But again, as I mentioned to you through Steam, if I do this consistently, I'm sure that eventually there'll be more and more people that come along. I mean, there was actually 2 people I think originally. So I mean, it doesn't sound like anything impressive, anything at all impressive, but it was there, and they might have wanted to join the chat, but they just didn't know how to. And I'm sure later on, if I know them, I'll be able
Mm,
to talk to them, and I'll be able to tell them like, yeah, all you got to do is say something in group chat, and then I can figure out how to get you in there. But
cool.
um, anyway, so I mean, what's the weather like out in the UK?
How's the
Yeah,
weather?
yeah.
It's
How's the
sunny
weather?
today for once, actually.
Is it? Well,
Yeah, it's clear.
where do you live in the UK anyway? Specifically, if
Um,
you don't mind.
Teesside. It's otherwise Middlesbrough. That's where I live right now. Not a really nice town, but I suppose it depends where you are.
Right.
So, but it's sunny and it's clear blue skies. So I mean
Which
that's
is a
always good.
rare occurrence for
Yeah.
up there, isn't it? Like,
Usually it's just grey skies and rain.
right.
So
Yeah, and out here in cold Minnesota, I'm sure you. I don't know if you've heard of the state of Minnesota.
I have, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, but yeah, it's like 39, 38 degrees or so. It's
Is
cold.
that Fahrenheit?
Yeah, it's Fahrenheit. As far as
Yeah.
Celsius goes, I'm terrible with that. Celsius, I'd say I'm thinking that's probably like 1 Celsius,
Yeah.
something
All
like
right.
that.
Yeah.
I think that's. I might be wrong because is 0 Celsius, is that freezing or no?
That's freezing. That's freezing point. I think.
Okay, yeah. So it's got to be like 1 to 2 Celsius.
Yeah.
But luckily, uh, I think by the end of the week it's supposed to be like 70s Fahrenheit. And what would that be then? I guess it's like a lesson in Celsius right now. Uh,
How to do Celsius with Eddie?
I know, it's like, what's that? You stupid American, what is that? But I don't, how does it go? Like every 1 Celsius would be, I don't know how many
I
Fahrenheits.
don't know. Honestly,
I don't know. I don't know either. I would assume that 70s would be like, I don't know. It's like trying to fit a block through a circle hole right now. 15, 18 Celsius. I don't know.
All right. Well,
I don't know if that's like burning hot or not. So
it's pretty warm. Yeah, I'd say. I mean, especially for someone who has rain and clouds every day usually. So I
right.
mean, you know.
I mean,
Uh,
it's a stupid question. I mean, I'm not. Does it get cold there? Like pretty cold in the
um,
winter, or
yeah. I mean, it doesn't get too cold unless it's.
yeah,
I mean, it's either it's like kind of cold or it's like snowing and and then it's quite cold,
yeah,
really cold. Yeah.
kind of like a thing where if it just makes it to the point where it can snow. I'm assuming, or maybe a little bit below that. Like here goes the Celsius thing, like 2 below Celsius. I don't know.
When it gets below 0 Celsius, that's freezing. So.
Yeah. So
Okay. So it evolved
you're
from
leaving.
what?
You're leaving. You're leaving, aren't you? You're just about to say it. That's all I can think of. I'm going. I'm
I
going.
wasn't actually gonna say that, but I was gonna say that it's evolved from gaming to how's the weather, and then What other
Yep.
really
What other crazy off
generic?
the wall thing I could think of? Let's see.
What's the most generic thing you can
Hmm.
think of?
I could always think of what's another one? This one could be really bad. I could always say, so what's for supper? But that would be really strange.
What's for supper?
Yeah. You don't
Well,
even know.
soup, I guess.
Soup. What's bad? The sun's shining, blue skies. What are we gonna have? We're gonna have soup. I would expect it to be the other way around. If it's raining and dreary, then have soup. But no, we take soup on the sunny days. We go grilling out in the rain. Oh man.
I think that's all really. So
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
yeah.
say the same thing. But anyway, so for all of you that do watch this video on the YouTube channel, also if you want, I think there's a way for me to give you the YouTube, like you can post it on yours too if you want, if you want to.
Yeah, I could do
And
that. Yeah.
and I mean that same goes with anybody that does the YouTube or the Google Hangouts with us. From everybody that I gather through my network, full screen alongside just YouTube people in the comments, people that follow me, subscribers, whomever, or even in Steam group. Uh, if you guys want to in on this and you have a YouTube channel, I don't care if you post this on your YouTube channel if you feel the need to. That's one of the reasons why I did this as well for people that are in full screen. They kind of wanted to grow their subscribers that kind of want more of like a podcasty kind of just general chat sort of thing outside of their gaming stuff. You can do that. But anyway, for everybody that does watch this, and you guys want to join in, or just not even be on webcam, not even microphone, and just want to ask questions in a group chat, that's totally fine because we can include you on into the chat. Or if you don't want to do group chat and you just want to ask questions with a microphone but no webcam, that's totally fine. Um, so that's just about gonna wrap it up. So I will try to keep these on Mondays unless otherwise. So thank you for joining, Sarge, and
All right, cool.
maybe you'll be here next week.
Maybe. All right, thanks.
All right, see you guys later.
See you.